All right, in today's video, we're gonna be talking about that truck driver that got in that accident on the highway in Colorado going 85 in a 65-mile-per-hour zone when his brakes failed. Now, this dude was given 110 years sentence, which
Consecutive.
which
Yeah.
when I read the story, I thought that was like a lot, you know what I'm saying? Especially when you don't read everything and you all you hear is brakes failed and you're like, wow, 110 years for truck brake failing, that's kind of rough, you know?
Mhm.
But it was in a 65-mile-per-hour zone when that happened. Now, to me, I feel like he deserves some time. 110, I don't know about that. I feel like that's kind of like cruel in a way, right?
Mhm.
Maybe 5 years, maybe 10 years, around that. For that 110, that man's never seen the light of day again
Yeah.
outside. That's just brutal, you know? And I was reading some comments before when I had seen that video, and it was talking about, well, it's up to the driver to make sure his truck, his semi truck, is up to standard maintenance wise and all of that. And I agree. And that's why I say I believe that he should get some time for it, you know? But 110, I feel like that's just that's crazy to me. And he was doing some stuff wrong. I'm not gonna say he wasn't doing stuff. He
Mhm.
should have been doing the speed limit. I don't know what lane he was. It was snowing the day before, so they could have been ice on it, but I'll give him the benefit of the doubt and said there was no ice on the road or whatever. I don't know what lane because cement trucks are supposed to be in certain lanes and you're going 85 into 65. So I have to put some blame on you,
Mhm.
right, as a driver, you know, not being negligent, you're being negligent and all that stuff. And then you get in that accident. And granted, your brakes fail. I'm sorry that happened, man. And RIP to the people who lost their lives in that situation. But I don't feel like 110 years would have been. I just feel like that's cruel to me. What do you think?
Well, Rogel Aguilera Menderos, he was 26, driving a semi-tractor trailer. I'm just watching right here. 85 miles per hour on Interstate I-70. I'll give you, it's pretty rough, but 85 in an interstate, especially if you're a semi-track, semi-tractor trailer, that's pretty heavy. It's really heavy. Sometimes when I'm driving in the highway, I'm seeing these trucks driving like crazy. The only thing left that they need to do is drift,
Mm,
and I see everything, man. Like
Tokyo
these
Drift.
that's all they need to do, and I'm seeing like, oh my god, like these truck drivers, and yeah, there is a certain type of blame. I agree with you that there's a certain type of blame that you need to put on him for going that that speed limit, but I also have to blame these companies who they care more about money than their own truck, than their own drivers, because they got to be there at this time, they got to be there at that other time, and and sometimes some of them work overtime so they can gain the money that they need to do to feed their family, or I hope if this wasn't because of it, or he was working overtime. I hope not, because he wanted to buy something cool, he wanted to buy his wife something or something like that. I hope none of that. But these companies, they're always trying to put these people to the limit, always pushing them to the limit, like if they were so disposable. Sure, you might have another truck driver, but really, you're gonna do that because you gave more money, and it's just, yeah, that person's disposable, and I can buy another truck, and I can get another driver, and the world goes round. No, no, and these brakes failed, and yeah, sure, I get that we need to check, and there are some stopping points where I think they check the truck, this and that. I don't know if they check for the
I
brakes,
know they
but
weighed. I don't know if they check.
yeah, they
I'm
wait.
not a
But
big truck dude, so I don't really know.
yeah, neither am I. But if the brakes failed, first of all, yeah, sure, the guy has to check, you know. But secondly, these trucks, maybe he might drive it for a little while, and he doesn't know like the whole condition of the truck, because maybe it might not be his, might not be.
See, and then you say company, and I don't know if he was working for, and I'm not gonna say like any huge company name because I don't know if he was working for any of them.
Mhm.
But from what I was looking, he could have been independent, and it was like his own truck. Because like some people who have their own truck will drive for, they'll get hired for this person for this one time to deliver,
Mhm.
et cetera, et cetera. Or he could have been working for a company. So I don't even know. So, but I did hear that someone said that it is up to the driver to check. But if it's a company, then I would feel like it's the company's duty to check to make sure the trucks are sufficient for the driver too.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah,
You
that's the other thing. They not only push the driver to the limit, they also push the truck to the limit until it doesn't work anymore, and then they have to buy another one, or they might fix it terribly or horribly, but mismanage it and just use it until like it really, really messes up, and then you have to buy another truck. And that's the thing, if you're gonna put a worker like this type of worker, like this type of employee, at fault, you also got to put the company at fault too. Like you also got to look at them as well, because sometimes these companies, they always push the person to the limit, to an overtime, and they push the truck to an overtime because they just see it as something disposable, and that's something that I really, really immensely disagree with.
What do
you
you
know
think about the time? How much time do you think he should, if at all?
if at all, I give it 20 to 30 years, 20 to 30
Mm,
years, because a life is a life. you
mm,
you you've got to see it. A life is a life, no matter if that person was an ex-convict, no matter if that person was old, young. A life is a life, and he took 4 lives. Yes, it was an accident. They call it they're trying to put it as 6 counts of first degree assault, extreme indifference, 10 counts of 10 counts of attempt to conduct first degree assaults, extreme indifference, 2 counts of vehicular assault, reckless, 1 case of reckless driving, and 4 counts of careless driving causing death are among the other 23 accusations. So when you're gonna call it first degree assault, mm, this dude wasn't trying to do it on purpose. He's just driving. Yeah, sure. He was going really fast, but I gotta tell you, in the I-70, everyone's going fast. You can't tell me that there's that one person who's doing everything right at 65 miles per hour. That's I call cap on that. I call cap on that 100%, because the I-70 is just hectic. Either you go with the flow, or you're gonna get run over.
I mean, I've seen truck drivers drive in the left lane speeding, and I know that is against the law,
Mhm.
and they do it anyway. So I don't know what he was doing or whatever, but like I feel like that's a little different in terms of like you're in a truck, you're in a big vehicle. And you
Mhm.
have to take all that in consideration when you're going down speeding like that.
Mhm.
I feel like in a car you can kind of get away with that because for the most part, will have more control
Mhm.
of
Yeah.
of a smaller vehicle than a truck because
Mhm.
you know you we in college we know that all that mass is going to take a long time to slow down and stuff.
Yeah.
Granted,
Mhm.
compared to a car,
Exactly.
you know what I mean?
Yeah. You have to take it. Yeah, you have to take all that in consideration. So yeah, he might have tripped a little bit on saying that another semi had already stopped there, but you also have to take in consideration the brakes failing as well, which he told the investigators, but we don't know if the brakes actually failed. Again, sometimes the news, they don't want to give you the whole shebang. But if the brakes did actually fail, and they found out that the brakes actually did fail, you're gonna have to, that 110 years, you're gonna have to way down. You're gonna have to take that way down, because if the brakes failed and he was trying to move to the side, also he was trying to move to the side as well, and he saw the other semi truck, getting there, and he was trying to brake and the brakes failing. 110 years, I consider it very unfair, very, very unfair. And yeah, sure, every state has their own set of laws and set of rules, which that's another thing that they have to check, because those rules, they always have to be revised. They always have to be revised because things change, vehicles change, conditions change, situations change, and those laws have to change with the public, with the society. And 110 years, I think that's way too much.
Yeah, I think of course we both believe that he got some kind of fault with it as well as the truck and that whole situation. So I will not sit here and say, oh, he should just get off freely.
Mhm.
Nah, he needs some years, but I don't think the rest of his life is the sentence that he should have got.
Yeah.
You said 30 years, and I said 5 to 10.
Mhm.
you know, maybe people say in between that, who knows? But as long as he's getting some kind of years for it, as you said, a life is a life, and I 100% agree. And just RIP to those people. And I'm so sorry for your guys' losses and stuff like that. But I just wanted to come on here and talk about it, with see how what you thought about it, you know, what you thought of the situation, stuff like that. And you want to guys, if you guys want to comment below and let us know what you feel about it, and it's a sentence right. We're not really truck people, so we don't really know the rules and regulations and how trucks, well, how they go about anything. But we're just coming in as like, well, we see what we read real quick, and then come on here and say what we
Mm.
gotta say. So make sure you guys subscribe, hit the like button and the bell so you know if I want to drop in more content. Without further ado, guys, make sure you guys subscribe.
Yep. Peace.